Gospel first, and after this, a life from Genesis. Okay? Let me change something that this is not so good to my feet. Now, yes. And how are you today? I hope you are good and pass so good today. Let me see the gospel so full of informations. Marvelous. Give freely what you have received freely. Chapter 26. No, it's not. Is seek and you shall find. Help yourself and heaven will help you. Ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and you shall find. Knock at the door and it shall be opened to you. For whoever asks receives, and whoever seeks finds, and it shall be opened to the one who knocks at the door. Also, who is the man among you who will give a stone to his son when he asks for bread? Or if he asks him for a fish, will give him a serpent? If therefore you, being evil as you are, know how to give good things to your children, it is even more reasonable that your Father, who is in heaven, will give good things to those who ask him. See, in this affirmation, they don't say, be good and ask that I will give to him. No, he say, ask and it shall give it to you. Ask. Because to us, ask to God is a sign of that we are humiliating ourselves. Is this? It's not necessary said this before, because the act you ask is this. And it's only this. Can you believe that people, I read past year about this in Spirit's book. I will say to you the same I said in Portuguese with my conditions in English. In Book of Spirits, there are said that people in miserable conditions have two reasons. One, they don't ask help to God. They yet think, oh, I'm in misery, God don't exist. It's a lie. If you stop in a signal in the street, please send to these children. These children various times ask you a help selling sweets and no one opened the window. Then, now today, then start to broke and ask your money in violence. Because is a violence you don't help with one simple money are children asking Sinai is the first thing. But people in Sinai, you can say, God are seeing you. God are seeing you. Ask to God. And all people that are working with these children must say to them, God are seeing you. This is in gospel. But in Spirit's book are said to, they don't ask to God. Is the first cause. Second cause, people, politicians, principally in Brazil, so much money in his own clothes, so much money, and nothing to education, nothing to food, nothing to work, this population. Is this what happened here? So much money politicians take. I know some of them that don't accept all this money. They get his money and the rest they make donation. Is this right? This is right. Is government give to you a lot of money? Don't accept. Don't accept. It's wrong when I have a population dying for less food, less vitamin, less hospital, less education, less conditions to work. Okay, is this. Okay, how I heard. Then is this. The two reasons. First, they forget to ask God. Second, because they are revolted. Second, is less conditions that social assistance don't give. Don't give. And by law, all people have rights to basic sanity, food, and education. But this don't happen. In reality, don't happen. Is this that be corrected? After this, who don't want to study and will transform in marginal, go out of the society. Society can't survive with marginals. Society need work to sustain our land. And these people must be retired from society. Because him want to transform others in his slaves. They are slavers. Then they must suffer education in prison, not death in prison. No, give education to this population. Force him to study, to work, things they don't want to make in society because have conditions. When a society have conditions, give conditions, and people don't want nor study not work, they will retire from society. It's a law of society. And only is righted here by Jesus. Also, ask and it shall be given to you. Is not a lie. Is not a lie. People don't want to ask this. I knew since I was a child, my mother and my father was activity in church. My father entered in places so miserable, my mother too, to help people there. People in miserable coming in my house. My mother ever received these people and help giving work. But I was a child. People don't want it. People in miserable don't want it work because the work is cleaning. These people without education, without nothing, choose the work. Oh no, I want to work in a escritory hall attendant. How? If not words, these people, God say, right? I saw this happen. So much jealousy and pride, people in poverty choosing, not accepting what have to work. What is this? Selfishness and pride. This exists in rich persons and in poor persons too. Is a bad from a spirit, not from the conditions. No. Is a vicious in the spirit of people. Then continue here. Also, who is the man among you who will give a stone? I read this. From the earthly point of view, the maxim, seek and you shall find. Have people that don't search nothing. Don't search nothing. Seek and you shall find is analogous to this one. Help yourself, and heaven will help you. It's the principle of the law of labor, and consequently the law of progress. If we don't go and seek this law, we are dead. Inside our dead. It's the principle of the law of labor and consequently the law of progress, because progress is the child of labor. Without labor, don't have progress. Without progress, don't have evolution. Stagnation, how and not where, stop it. Don't serve from nothing. Only seek has in this water. And labor sets in motion the powers of the intelligence. During humankind's infancy, humans apply their intelligence only to search for nourishment, the means to shelter themselves from the inclemency of the weather and to defend themselves against their enemies. However, God has given them more than to the animal. The incessant desire to better themselves, God has given them to human being more than to the animal, because this human being is on the top of all creation, because we have two conditions. We have fall, loss. Animals, no. Animals have only instinct by God. However, God has given them more than to the animal. The incessant desire to better themselves. It's this desire, we are a group of desires. The spirit is desire. Because this we must arrive in 100 years. We must continue have desire. How famous people that I knew about animals, they are with 100 years. They are 100 years and still are This is spirit. However, God has given them more than to the animal, the incessant desire better themselves. It's this desire that drives them to seek out means of improving their situation, which in turn leads them to discoveries, inventions, and to the perfecting of science, because it's science that provides them with what they lack. Through their research, their intelligence expands and their morals become purified. The needs of the body are followed by the needs of the spirit. It's the spirit that commands body. All six start in the spirit. Our visions start in the spirit, not in body. After physical nourishment, humans need spiritual nourishment. And it's thus that humans pass from the primitive to the civilized state. After physical nourishment, humans need spiritual nourishment. And it is thus that humans pass from the primitive to the civilized state. It's a past steps of evolution. However, the progress that each person accomplishes individually during his or her lifetime is very little. However, the progress that each person accomplishes individually during his or her lifetime, 100 years more or less this, is very little, even imperceptible to many. We don't perceive how much we evolved in final this time. How then could humankind progress without the persistence and resistance of the soul? If this time is not sufficient, it's a little. What we can conclude that we return various centuries to evolution, gradually a bit. How then could humankind progress without the persistence and re-existence of the soul? If the life is one, but various steps, if souls departed every day, never to return, humankind would be constantly renewing itself with primitive beings, having everything to do and everything to learn. If souls departed every day, never to return, if souls departed every day, never to return, humankind would be constantly renewing itself with primitive beings, having everything to do and everything to learn. Never we would go out from a step of man, cavern man. This is illogical. Okay? Oh, men of cavern are dead. Return other spirit. Start all things again. Death. Start all things again. Death and don't exist more. The next will stop ever in this epoch. Don't will return with more knowledge. Is a question of logic. Okay? Without this dot, sorry, you never will understand nor what happened today. Without the persistence and resistance of the soul. If souls departed every day, never to return, humankind would be constantly renewing itself with primitive beings, having everything everything to do, and everything to learn. Never will be out of this step. Never will have evolution. Consequently, there would be no reason for humans to be more advanced today than in the early ages of the world. Since with each birth all intellectual labor would have to recommence. It's a logical doubt. On the other hand, by returning with the progress it has accomplished, and each time acquiring a little more, the soul passes gradually from barbarism to materialistic civilization, and from there to moral civilization. C is accumulation of understanding, accumulation of knowledge, accumulation of, in all senses in life, is accumulation. This is accord with abundance and generosity of God. Is this. If God had exempted humans from bodily labor, their limbs would have atrophied. If God had exempted them from intellectual labor, their spirit would have remained in infancy, in the state of animal instinct. That is why God made labor a necessity. Without labor, you dead, without money. Or go to view, depend of others that will give nothing to you, because instinctively we feel why, then don't go work. Isn't this or not? Isn't this? It's true, the application. Then is why God made labor a necessity and said to them, seek and you shall find. Labor and you shall produce. In this way, you will be the children of your deeds. You will derive merit from them, and you will be recompensed according to what you have done. Have persons that don't accept this. Maybe was in other or in this incarnation with all things free. A child, father buying all things that child want is still what is not necessary. These children will grow an adult unsupportable in society, don't accept a no, and revolted with power and money, because his father continued giving to him. He's a millionaire father. Go, have. And this spirit transformed in a futile person, full of things that is not necessary and empty inside. Discarnate this individual, he turned the same way. Give me in a powerful place. And this will revolt it. God don't exist. And don't ask more for God, intelligence, please God, give me wisdom. How now I must change my way to get and got a good work and get my things. What is necessary? Don't ask this. Revolted and get a gun and go to that. All people revolted. Revolted cause forgot God. Forgot. and don't want to work, don't want to study, don't want to, because this father is accomplishing to this too. And probably this father and mother, he born in this miserable ambient now, trying to correct the past. Sometimes don't got in one life, no, but they try. They try. We must ever make a prayer to these fathers of people in prison. We must ever make a prayer to people in prison that regret, only that regret. You must ask to these people and to others a misericordia of God to make them regret. It's true, the application of this principle that spirits don't come to spare humans the work of research by bringing them discoveries and inventions that are completed and ready to produce. It's true, the application of this principle. Work and labor. The labor and development. It's true, the application of this principle, that spirits don't come to spare humans the work of research by bringing them discoveries and inventions, because these spirits don't come to spare humans the work of search by bringing them discoveries and inventions that are completed and ready to produce. The spirits don't will make this to you, how the rich father make this to a child. No. In such a way that they would only have to take what was put in their hands. In such a way that they would only have to take what was put in their hands without having to go to the trouble to bend down, to pick it up, or even to think about it. If that were the case, the laziest individuals could enrich themselves and the most unlearned become wise at no cost, and both would receive merit for what they have not done. Spirits don't come to exempt humans from the law of labor, but to show them the objective they must reach and the way that will lead them to it, saying to them, press on and you shall arrive. You will find stones under your feet. Look and remove them yourself. We will give you the strength you need if you wish to use it. From the moral point of view, these words of Jesus mean, ask that the light may enlighten your way, and it will be given to you. Ask for the strength to resist evil, and you will have it. Ask for the assistance of the good spirits, and they will come to accompany you. And like the angel of Tobit, they will serve as your guides. What I said in principle of this gospel, they in poverty, totally poverty, forgot to ask to God, because they don't want, they are revolted to see others with things, but these things other got, because in another life other worked and lose it and worked and was dead. and work it. Is this? No one, people that you see rich are without work. Maybe not this life, but continue working this life. But maybe from the centuries back. Don't see things of your neighbor. Say the law. Don't desire what other have is the law. Cause this, what other desire, what other have is merit from other. You don't saw the past of other. Then other law, don't judge. Accept what you can have, because you have what you work. God is not unjust, never. I know that certain persons don't accept this, prefer to be revolted. What we can make? Nothing. What we can do? Nothing. From the moral point of view, these words of Jesus mean, ask then the light may enlighten. Ask, enlighten your way, and it will be given to you. Ask, because when you ask, you are recognizing the power of other spirit, of other conscience, of other intentions. Because this, ask for the strength to resist evil, and you will have it. Ask for the assistance of the good spirits, and they will come to accompany you. And like the angel of Tobit, they will serve as your guides. Ask for good counsel, and it will never be refused to you. Knock at your door, and it will be opened to you. But ask sincerely, with faith, fervor, and trust. Faith, fervor, and trust is this. Present yourself with humility and not arrogance. Otherwise, you will be left to your own devices, and your failures will be the punishment for your pride. Otherwise, if you don't ask, that we see in the majority. Otherwise, you will be left to your own devices, and your failures will be the punishment for your pride. Pay attention. Pay attention in it. Faith, fervor, and trust. Trust. You must, this I read in another book, The Game of Life. Trust before you receive. Trust is this. Present yourself with humility and not arrogance. Not arrogance. Otherwise, you will be left to your own devices, and your failures will be the punishment for your pride. Such is the meaning of the words. Seek and you shall find. Knock and you shall be opened to you. Existe this condition. I will repeat this condition. Is better you write for you, and I will write for me. Faith, fervor, and trust. With faith, fervor, and trust. 2 F's. F. 2 F's. Faith and fervor. And after this, trust. Before you get. Such is the meaning of the word. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened to you. If it was this way, sorry, it's impossible. God makes something to you. Observing the birds in the sky. Today I was reading this. Oh, a new thought about it. Observe the birds in the sky. I love birds, and I ever observed a bird that since I was a child I heard. And when I heard this, I remember my father. My father had a bird, but they let it free inside his house. They obviously closed all windows and let him free. It's the unique story by my father. I knew that my father liked so much dogs too. And I ever remember, I don't know why, about this bird. Another day, have some passages that I heard this bird, and I think that he accompanied me from here until the city. And I start to observe the comments of people that work with birds. And I read that they felt the magnetism that directed them how to go in a determined place. It's marvelous. They recognize faces, how the crow recognize faces. They helped people when people are being persecuted by bad persons. The crow helped other they like. They felt when a person is good and when a person is bad. It's marvelous. They are so much intelligent. We don't take care to birds. It's a loss of time of us. Observe the birds in the sky. Don't accumulate treasures on the earth, where rust and worms corrupt them, and where thieves bury and steal them. But create treasures in heaven, where neither rust or worms corrupt. For wherever your treasure is, that is your heart also. Thus I say to you, don't be anxious about where you will find something to eat for the sustenance of your life, or where you will get clothes to cover your body. Is not life more than food? Is a question. Is not life more than food? What do you think? Have food without life? No. And the body was not more than clothing. Have clothing without body? No. Today are total inversion of things, including this. Observe the birds in the sky. They are neither sow nor reap. One time you see birds constructed a plantation of food, nor do they store anything in birds. Sometimes you see this, a bird make a reunion of his food in a great birds. No, they get food all day, they work to food. And all day, when he have songs, uh, he put the food in his mouth. And after these birds grow, they will start to make the same as his parents. It's this, they don't accumulate nothing. Birds, nor his house they construct is perfect, is marvelous. I think still this is used by other birds. I don't have certain. But I know they return to the same places they construct. I know this. But maybe still this when you dead, the place where there or will destruct by the rain, but they don't concern nothing. Observe the birds if this in the sky. They neither sow nor reap, nor do they store anything in birds, but your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not worth much more than they? And who among you, with all his effort, can increase his stature by one cubit? Have a doctor that can turn more humor high in your stature. I don't know. I don't know. I remember the movie that I saw, the in Portuguese is As Branquelas. In English, I don't know the name, but it's two agents of police that must transform it in two blonde women, and they are so high. And these blondes were less high. And when these fakes blondes meet his older friends, and then ask to her, what you make you are more high? And they respond, oh, I made my knees. And the other was so less high, was so interested and said, oh, I will make the same. But I think it is impossible, because when you make something necessary, for example, the less high legs with great legs, and doctor make this, we will be full of metals. And these metals with the time will have complicated, because the weight of body, that is so much difficult to make this. Maybe in the future, I think. Then the ask, and who among you with all his effort can increase his stature by one cubit? Have so much person that would like make this. Moreover, why are you anxious about clothing? Observe how the lilies of the fields grow. Lilies of the fields. I saw one time is so red and appear make with hands marvelous. They neither work nor spin. Nevertheless, I declare to you that Solomon himself, in all his glory, was ever dressed like one of them. Thus, if God has taken care to clothe in such manner an herb in the field, with which exists today and tomorrow will be cast into fire, how much more care will be taken in clothing you, O man of little faith? Another day I saw a lot of birds of paradise. Do you see this? Searching that bird of paradise, have one that appear a flower closed, then he opened his wings and appear a great, I don't know the name of this in English, in Portuguese is crista, red, and others that have brilliant colors. And the dance he made to make to make other birds, the dance of this, the dance of, how the name of this, seduction, the dance of seduction is fantastic, you don't believe. I think those those animals are exaggerated, but only this way, not him exaggerated, but the female, yes, and pair of birds make a great gym to get one so fast pleasure. That is this the dance of the nature, but it's fantastic, fantastic. If God make this with a bird, that I don't know how much years did this survive, does this God has taken care to birds in paradise in such manner, and this will take less time of a human being, how much more care will he take in clothing you? O man of little faith, our body is a fantastic machine. With your thoughts, you can create material things. You don't perceive. But with your thoughts, you attract your material things. This is so visible in the spiritual plane when you train a lot your will. Other day I count a history of a spirit that jump stones in front of the house. He was enemy of this family, that when he was living in the streets, is a man that don't have houses. He live in the street, and two women that live in those houses, those adolescents, so crazy, ever humiliate this poor man, and he dead. When these women are adult in those houses, all broken the front of the house. A great, beautiful house, but the front was how a poor people. The floor was how a poor people without money, but all time they reconstruct his house and his floor, start the spirit jump stones. The stone appear from nothing and in this direction, don't come from the air, but this way appear, and you start to see appear the stone and is and broken. All his front of the house was a transtorm, is a disturbance to this family. Then Kardec knew about this, they go there and arrive there with an excellent sensitive and start to claim this spirit to talk through this sensitive. And sensitive talk with Kardec and explain how his anger of those family. And finally Kardec asked, oh, can you jump a stone in me? I want to see this. A crazy scientist. And the spirit stopped and said, if I would, I will jump all mountain of stones in you. Because his anger, because knew Kardec was there to convince them to stop this. And and the spirit continues, but I can make this because your protector don't let me. Because if he let me, you will see a mountain upon you. And then I start to understand the situation. High spirits can control all these spirits. For more strong the spirits have, for more strong they have anger, high spirits get control this. What control anger spirit is your moral level. And you're connecting what more level spirits is guardian angels. They control all this. Don't doubt it. Still people make bet with you from Africa magician that is so strong, Africa magician. Still this, if you are elevated, moral elevated, and have faith in God and angels, this spirit will make nothing to you. Because you pay attention, you have good thoughts. If you are a people that commit vengeance, lie, and make bad things to others, forget, you will be in the same level of the spirit, and the spirit will attack you. Still you attack them, he attacked you, okay? Take care. We must ever elevate our thought. We must ever elevate our intentions. And don't have afraid, because elevated spirits will save you ever. Okay? Therefore, don't be anxious, saying what will we eat and what we will drink, or what will we wear, as do the pagans who seek after all these things, because your Father knows what you need, as do the pagans who seek after all these things. Because this is the cause in this world, ganancia. Ganancia that come from jealousy and pride. Selfishness And pride, jealousy is the middle of selfishness and pride. It's called this. Therefore, seek first the kingdom of the God and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you in abundance. So don't be anxious for tomorrow. For tomorrow will take care of itself. Each day has enough evil of its own. Each day has enough evil of its own. Okay? Live one day each time. One day. And make the better this day. With all this, see how much teaches we can retire from this bit text. It's profound and necessary text to ever and ever we read. Observe the birds in the sky. I ever say about observe the flowers. They said to the flowers, observe the birds in the sky, the lily of the field, the lily of the field. I ever get this. Now I will get other part of this. Observe the birds in the sky. They don't accumulate nothing. They don't have necessity of all these things. We can things to have power, but if you don't use this power, forget. It's a destruction. Is fall down your objectives. All industry is this way. If all industry on accumulate, but don't have work, don't change his production, don't accompany the modifications, how today is important, the reverse engineering, this industry will in future in falliance. We must follow the progress of the minds, of ideas, and all situations of this planet. We must accompany and rebirth our company. Okay? A bit of empresarial coach. Taking literally these words would be the negation of all foresight of labor and consequently of all progress. With such a principle, humans would reduce themselves to an unexpected passiveness. It's important to say this. Their physical and mental powers would remain inactive. We, human beings, have necessary not to work and don't work nothing. Our life is different. But don't be attached in this. Don't be attached. Let this circulate. Is this the error? You can have things, but don't be attached in this. It's ever change this. If such had been their normal condition on the earth, they would have never left the primitive state. And if it were to become the law today, they would have nothing more to do than to live in idleness. This could not have been Jesus' thought, because it would be in a contradiction with what he said elsewhere and with the laws of nature themselves. God created is the same to I plant a tree and I will consume this tree, then I cut the tree and make this wood to put fire. No, we must conserve the great forest. It is necessary. We don't carry entire there, oh, today I need this, forgot the future is not this. This could not have been Jesus' thought, because it would be a contradiction with what he said elsewhere and with the laws of nature themselves. God created women with neither clothing nor shelter, but gave them the intelligence to make them. Logic dot. If I consume all things and don't repose to this, what type of industry, nature of industry is this? A fall down industry. We must understand that regenerative agriculture is necessary. How much persons in the world more regenerative agriculture? Why not make this? In great champs, you can start to plant new trees. You can learn this with indigenous. You can learn this with other persons that are making this. Start to a little part of your plantation. Don't make this in all champ you have. Start in a bit place only. And plant trees in 4 years, I think, have trees that are great. Plant this. Plant these trees of fruits. And with passing the time, you will learn how type of the trees will help you in middle of your plantation. We must change our way to make things that are destructing and not reestablish the equilibrium. It's a logic thought. If such had been their normal condition of the earth, they would have never left the primitive state. And if it were to become the law today, they would have nothing more to them to live in idleness. This could not have been Jesus' thought, because it would be a contradiction with what he said elsewhere and with the laws of nature themselves. God created humans with neither clothing nor shelter, but gave them the intelligence to make them. What happened with people that I plant soil and not only, I forgot the name, soja. I plant this and I will continue plant this. What have in your mind? Stagnation. If you don't is capable to see what necessity in plantation and go to search how to mix it, you are falling down, because the future. Therefore, one should see in these words only a poetic allegory of providence, which never abandons those who put their trust in it, but which wills that they work alongside it. If providence doesn't always come to them with material help, it inspires them with ideas with which they may find the means of freeing themselves from their difficulty. God knows our needs and provides for them according to what is necessary. However, humans, insatiable in their desires, never know how to be content with what they have. The necessities are not enough for them. They need the superfluous. It's then that providence leaves them to themselves. They are often unhappy due to their own fault and for having disregarded a voice that warned them in their conscience. And God allows them to suffer the consequences so that they may serve as a lesson for the future. In future, maybe you will obligate to reborn in a place without trees, in a place without you have conditions to plant again. Is this? The earth will produce enough to feed all its inhabitants when according to the laws of justice. You can search people that are planted this way. Charity, justice, charity, and love for one's neighbor. People, the earth will produce enough to feed all its inhabitants when according to the laws of justice, charity, and love. Justice with animals. Animals, you destroy his habitat. Is less of justice, is less of charity, is less of love. This. Laws of justice, charity, and love for one's neighbor. Animals are our neighbors. People know how to manage the provision it gives to them. The earth will produce enough to feed all its inhabitants when according to the laws of justice, charity, and love. Pay attention. When fraternity reigns among all peoples, as it does among the provinces of the same country, the temporary surplus of one will make up for the temporary insufficiency of another, and each will have what he needs. The rich will then regard themselves as those who possess a large amount of seed. If they scatter it, it will produce 100-fold for themselves and for others. But if they consume to seed by themselves, if they waste it, and all the surplus of what they have consumed to be lost, the seed will produce nothing, and there will not be enough for everybody. If they hoard it in their birds, the worms will devour it. That is why Jesus said, don't accumulate treasures on the earth, which are perishable, but create treasures in heaven, because they are eternal. In other words, don't attach more importance to material possessions than spiritual ones, and know how to sacrifice the former on behalf of the latter. Charity and fraternity are not decreed by law. If they are not in the heart, selfishness will always stifle them. It's the labor of Spiritism to enable them to enter the heart. Is this. And I only let this be don't not wear yourself out for the possession of gold. Do not fret for the possession of gold or silver or any other coins in your purse. Don't prepare a bag for your journey or two cloaks or shoes or staff, for those who work deserve to be fed. In any city or town that you have entered, inquire as to who is worthy to house you, and remain with him until you leave. When you enter the house, greet it, saying, "May peace be in this house." If the house is worthy, your peace will come upon it. If this is not, your peace will return to you. Whenever someone doesn't wish to receive you or to listen to your words, when you leave that house or city, wipe the dust from your feet. Verily I say to you that on the day of judgment, Sodom and Gomorrah will be treated less harshly than that city. This is Matthew 10, verse 9 until 15. Those words which Jesus addressed to his disciples when he sent them out for the first time to proclaim the good news, display nothing strange for that era. They are in keeping with the patriarchal custom of the East, where the traveler was always welcomed into one's tent. However, back then travelers were rare. Among modern cultures, the increase in travel has led to the creation of new customs, and those of ancient times are found only in far-off regions that have not yet been affected by much travel. And if Jesus were to return today, he would no longer be able to tell his disciples, "Set out without any provisions." Beside their actual meaning, these words contain a much deeper moral meaning. Jesus was thereby teaching his disciples to trust in providence. By having nothing, they couldn't tempt to greed or those who received them. It was a way to distinguish the charitable ones from selfish. That is why he said to them, "Inquire as to who is worthy to house you," which means who is humanly enough to shelter the traveler who has no means of paying, because such persons are worthy of hearing your words. By their charity, you will recognize them. As for those who didn't want to welcome them or listen to them, did he tell his disciples to curse them, to impose themselves on them, or to use force and coercion to convert them? As for those who did not want to welcome them or listen to them, did he tell his disciples to curse them, to impose themselves on them, or to use forced coercion to convert them? No, but purely and simply to go somewhere else and look for persons of goodwill. This is what Spiritism tells its adherents today. Don't violate anyone's conscience. Don't force anyone to leave their own beliefs to adopt yours. Don't cast an anathema of those who don't think like you. Gather those who come to you and live in peace those who reject you. Remember Christ's words, "Formerly heaven was taken by force." Today, it's taken by kindness. This is so important test. And is this for now? I hope you like it. And I will read about Genesis now. Yes. Today is full of information, my lives. Let me see, Genesis. And chapter 7, we will start about geology. I love geology, it's so interesting. So much interesting. See about the steps, how much type of life were in those soil. It's marvelous, marvelous. Genesis chapter 7, yes. Geological sketch on the earth is this. What have in this chapter? The geological periods, the primitive state of the globe, the primary period, the transmission period, the secondary period, the tertiary period, the diluvial period, the post-diluvial or present period, the birth of humankind. The geological periods. The earth carries within it the obvious traces of its formation. The phases can be tracked with mathematical precision in the different formations that make up its framework. The whole of such studies composes the science called geology, a science born during this century of Kardec, 19th century, and which had cast light on the highly controversial issue of the origin of the earth and the living beings inhabiting it. On this point, there is no theory. It's the strict result of the observation of the facts. And in light of such facts, there is no room for doubt. Marvelous. You see is what you see and finish. The history of the globe's formation is writing in the geological strata much more surely than in preconceived books, because it's nature herself that speaks, that bears herself, and not the imagination of persons who create theories. Where one sees the marks of fire, one can safely say that there has been a fire. Where one sees the marks of water, one can no less surely say that there has been water. Where one sees marks of animals, one can say that animals have lived there. Geological is thus a completely observational science. It draws conclusions only from what it sees. On questionable points, it affirms nothing. It forgoes arguable opinions, waiting for more complete observations. Without the discoveries of geology, as without those of astronomy, the world's genesis would still be dwelling in the darkness of legend. Thanks to geology, people today know the history of their habitation, and the scaffolding of the fables that use it to surround its cradle has crumbled never to rise again. Everywhere, in terrains where there are trenches, natural or man-made excavations, one may observe what are called stratifications. superposed strata, and is natural trenches. The terrains that display this pattern are designated by the name stratified terrains. These strata of highly variable thickness from a few centimeters to 100 meters or more are distinguished from one another by the color and nature of the substances composing them. Works of art, the drilling of wells, quarry operations, and above all, minds have made it possible to observe them to a very great depth. The strata are usually homogeneous, that is, each is formed of the same substance, or of various substances that existed together and formed a compact whole. The line of demarcation that separates them from one another is always clearly defined, like the layers of a foundation of a building. Here I open a parenthesis, because I remember today making Portuguese alive, that when I started to construct my house, the man responsible said to me, "Don't make this." I wanted make a room entire, another room entire. They said, "No, don't make this. You must put this up together, all rooms, all this in the same time, because if you build with parts, with time pass will appear the place that you make after, or the party of the wall that you make after will appear broken, and cause don't have so good you make by this. Have person that make until middle and pass time with rain, no one reside here, of course, because it's only middle of wall, and after so much time he make the rest. Is not good. With the time will appear the division of this. I saw houses that constructed this way. And what you must make, guard the money for how I made. I have a great receiving of money. I buy the material for all, and I buy it and let in the shop. After this, I get the money of the constructor and guard this. When I have the two, I start make all things. After this, the curvature, we don't can put the wood and stay there, or the laje. In Brazil have laje. In the United States you don't make this, but here we make. And put the laje and don't cover. Don't make this. The constructor said to me, first, when you have money to put the laje and wood to cover all, then you must make. Don't make the laje and pass time, because the laje only will get in free without coverture only 6 months. After this, it will retain water from rain and will all humidity. And ever the risk this start to fall in bit, but don't will be good. Then I follow what constructor said. I get first the money, I buy it, material, wood and other things, and get in the shop and get the money to make this. When I have the two, I finish the house. I make this way. And was marvelous. So marvelous construction. I never construct a house. I think I don't would make this, but I made. I will take this sensation for all eternity. It's marvelous. The capability that I think I never would have this. Then continue here. What I said this cause he said that when have a division is cause is another era, how in a house. The strata are usually homogeneous. That is, each is formed of the same substance, or of various substances that existed together and formed a compact whole. The line of demarcation that separates them from one another is always clear and defined, like the layers of a foundation of a building. In no part does one see them mixed and lost in one another at their respective boundaries, as occurs, for example, in the colors of a prism or a rainbow. We see rainbow, we see mixed, one color in another. This don't happen in this stratic, let me see the name, stratified terrains. We don't see this. By these characteristics, one can see that they were formed successively and were deposited one on top of the other under different conditions and by different causes. The deepest ones, of course, formed first, and those closer to the surface afterward. The last of all of them, that which is found at the surface, is called the vegetative stratum, which owes its properties to the decayed remains of organic matter coming from plants and animals. And let me see. Says, right. Is right. I read only until now in Portuguese, and I wanted to add more information. Other day, see that what they are saying about it. The vegetative stratum, the last of all of them, that which is found at the surface is called the vegetative stratum, which always is properties to the decayed remains of organic matter coming from plants and animals, have this strata that form to petroleum. Another day I read about that from scientists, that acts of the earth maybe are changing because our in last centuries are all galaxy retiring petroleum of liquids from the center of the earth. Not exactly the center, but inside of the earth, water, but water will evaporate it and return. Petroleum, no. And it's so weight this. 1 liter of petroleum, I searched the weight of this was 1 kilogram or 0.999 or 0.60, I don't know, more or less 900 grams, next to 1 kilogram. Imagine this. Imagine this. Retiring per day billions of tons of petroleum in Venezuela and other places. After this man that was retired to government in Venezuela was this way. Billions of trillions of petroleum retired the center of the soil. And exactly in a place that have a problem, a seismic problem. Who can grant it that this retired don't balance the establishment of the soil? Who can say this? And maybe for galaxy, too, the X of the earth are this way, but this distance, maybe it's this. And when this more will movement cause the energetic passing by this planet to cleaning here, how Hamati said, don't would be so dramatic if people stop it to change the weight of a profundity of this planet. Who can guarantee this is not possible? Who can grant this? And we must use our sixth sense, because have things, we must abuse our sixth sense, and not eyes and money, ganacy. We must think about it, how in gospel was. Have people that don't accept never what they have. They have much, much, much. They want much, 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 without seeking consequences. How people that can explore this and falls in Brazil, Amazon, or can retire gold from indigenous that have necessity to better conditions to live there. And that people cause this ganacy, where this type of enterprise will fall down. Don't have other way. Will kill, will work for nothing, because all this will pass. But the character of the people that make this don't will pass. They think they will stop to live, don't will. Must will return to these areas or in other planet more inhospitable than this, totally inhospitable, and learn to survive without nothing. They don't believe, unfortunately. But this is what happened with Noah, Atlantida, and Noah was this. Noah was the king of Atlantida. And the water turned full the room where scientists were discussing. It's possible what Noah is saying, and water simply entering no city. With Noah happened this. With all civilizations happened this moment of cleaning. Because have an organization that we can see. These organizations take care of all this. Protect who mercy protection, and let others that have the time others go out, maybe the others go out to a better place, more better than this planet. We can judge. But have people that go and don't will permit to these people return to here. Is this you must take care. Because this is a planet that have trees, have birds, have water. And if we will go to a planet that don't have this, a primitive planet, we are inside the law. See nature have a law. See interest. I made a bed, I receive a bed. Made not in this life, but in another I will. Is not bad for nothing. God don't let we pass bad for nothing. God don't let this. Is a correction that we claim this to us. Don't have doubt this. Change your thoughts, change your acts, and change the world to a better place. How said our marvelous singer, Michael Jackson. Is this have a good week with work, with wisdom, with change your mind to change the world. Only is this. Till the next.